Welcome back, YouTubers, to another WWE vlog in HD with me, Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me does not need a mic. It's the wonderful NJ. What's up? What's up, NJ? What's up to you guys out there? Today we're going to be coming at you with our Smackdown review, and take a deep breath, NJ. Smackdown this week continued its series of shit Smackdowns from last week. Before we do this review, though, make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, put your comments on the show down below.
And you can make sure you can contact us in the links in the description box below.
Sure thing. Make sure you contact us.
And what I'm going to quickly say here is I'm going to try and be as positive as I can, but this Smackdown really wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah, even though we know Smackdown at the moment is shit.
Yes.
Yeah, but we started off with Randy Orton, which is immediately a downgrade, really. Randy Orton comes out and goes on about his concussion, gave me a fucking concussion listening to his damn promo. But at least he only gets, what, 30 seconds, a minute of mic time before who comes out? We gotta do the mass militant! Yeah, Teddy Long comes out, player, and says that Orton will not compete tonight because he has a concussion and he wants to save him for the main event, a capital punishment player, because he's one of only 2 matches SmackDown have actually got on this card. Oh, we had the Teddy Long bit, you know, we danced to it because that's positive, I guess. It's really positive. Let's just dance. Anyway, then we had Christian interfere, saying that he'll beat him a capital punishment. Christian got most of the mic time in this segment, which was at least one positive.
And he kept on repeating the fact that he's going to beat Orton, beat Orton, beat Orton.
We've heard it all before. But then we get good old Sheamus fella, getting his #1 contendership for the WWE title fella, coming out and says he wants his title shot because he beat Orton last week. He kind of does have a point, but the match is already made. Why make it different?
And then Teddy Long says the main event is gonna be Christian versus Sheamus, and if Sheamus wins, it'll be a triple threat and capital punishment.
But not just that, player. I'm not going to give you a match between 2 heels, which makes no sense going into the pay-per-view, which might potentially ruin the pay-per-view match. I'm also going to sit your man, who you don't want to see, at ringside so we can interfere in the match at some point, most likely, because that's how me and Michael Hayes like to book our matches, player.
And with Orton there, you're expected that he's been sit there for a reason, not by Teddy Long, but Orton's going to obviously get involved somehow.
Yeah, this opening segment really was just meh to me. I don't know, it's set up a main event, but the main event is between 2 heels, Sheamus and Smackdown. That's not a main event, come on. 2 heels, I just don't get it. Should we just move on with that one?
Let's move on, yeah.
Yep. Next we have a 6-man tag match, which we saw on Raw a couple of days ago, so why the fuck would I want to see it again on SmackDown? Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase and Wade Barrett versus Sin Cara, Daniel Bryan and Ezekiel Jackson. Now, one thing I will say here before we go on to the match, NJ. Who is featured at the pay-per-view from this 6-man tag?
Ezekiel Jackson and Wade Barrett.
Who won this match?
Daniel Bryan.
So why is Daniel Bryan winning a match? If you're going to make the babyfaces win here, why not make Ezekiel Jackson win? Because at least it gives him a push going to the pay-per-view. Daniel Bryan is not involved. Why are they making him win? It's such bad booking by SmackDown. Michael P. Hayes.
The way I look at this is you have Zeke, who's already been dominating over the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Even though this is the last week before the pay-per-view, which is kind of bad that they had Daniel Bryan pick over instead of Zeke.
Who's not even probably going to be in the pay-per-view.
No,
so what's the fucking point? The match itself, the finish was stupid. You know, the pin, was it a 2 count? Was it a 3 count? It just was really stupid. Ezekiel Jackson didn't even get in the ring. And when he's at the pay-per-view, if he's not getting in the ring, it's shit build. He's got a match with Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship.
Talking about Wade, they're really, even though he's going against Zeke, they've really not done any justice for Wade Barrett to look good for this match.
And not just that, you had him running away from Zeke. Really? Come on. That's just fucking ridiculous. For someone like Wade Barrett to run away from Zeke, no.
No, I just thought this match was just not entertaining.
I thought it was better than the Raw one. It's just that it was pointless and it just... Why even bother having it again? Seriously. It did nothing for the pay-per-view, which is what you need to do on your go-home show. And then we had a Jinder Mahal versus Kozlov match. Now, MJ, I know you will agree with me here that I like what SmackDown are doing with Jinder Mahal. It's the one positive thing we had of the night.
They're definitely working pretty well with Jinder Mahal. They're really making... Even though he's having squash matches, the squash matches are showing what kind of guy he's going to be in the next couple of months.
And it's really enhancing his non-American gimmick, which is really getting, you know, some heel heat. Non-American gimmicks will always do that. It was a squash match, but it did its job. Carly even hit the chop, because that's supposed to knock a guy like guy like Kozlov out. Wake up, NJ. And we're going to have to do the vice grip. Oh, got you. That's a nice one. This one. Anyway, shall we just skip from that match? It was a very quick match.
Yes.
Yeah. We then have a Big Show interview with Josh Matthews. Big Show says that he heard a rumour that Del Rio would be there. I don't really recall the dirt sheets telling me anything about that, but oh well. Obviously, Big Show has his sources elsewhere. We get to see this emotional Big Show, which is kind of weird because, Del Rio's got to him a little bit. It's kind of good going into the pay-per-view, though, that we've seen a different side of Big Show, don't you think? Before you finish snarling again.
Yeah, different facial expressions. We couldn't tell if he was upset, if he was angry. He just kept on different emotions.
Oh, but guess who comes out again? Teddy Long, player. That means we get to do the dance again. This is awesome. But Teddy Long comes out and says, Big Show, you can't lay a finger on Del Rio because we need this match to actually happen at the pay-per-view. But for some reason, there's a lawsuit on Big Show for what he did to Ricardo Rodriguez. But if Del Rio or Ricardo Rodriguez runs over Big Show, there's no fucking lawsuit. Where's the continuance of storylines here? Seriously. One lawsuit for one thing, no lawsuit for the other thing, then they're pretty much exactly the same thing. So I don't get it. What's going on here?
I think the WWE are concentrating more on, Alberto.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Big Show. We don't need to give him a lawsuit for what happened to him. But Alberto Del Rio is our next upcoming star. So let's just give him what he needs.
It's just stupid, though, isn't it? Like, stupid continuance. I don't know.
I think Big Show's reply is simple.
That's actually what true. And we pretty much get that from the next segment, which is... Big Show, Teddy Long makes a match between Big Show and Mark Henry but Big Show realises that he can't face Alberto Del Rio because he can't actually, he's not allowed to touch him anymore for some strange reason. But Show just pretty much beats the fucking hell out of Mark Henry, doesn't he, in about 30 seconds. And then they work this injury angle with Mark Henry. Now my question is, can SmackDown really afford to lose another wrestler? They're having trouble filling out the card as it is, as we saw tonight by the From the Vault segments.
The whole thing about this is Mark Henry, they've been using Mark Henry recently to look quite good. So for him to look good and suddenly get taken out by Big Show is not going to do anything good for SmackDown or Mark Henry.
I don't know why they've done this. Just maybe Mark Henry needs a break. I don't know. It's just But should we move on to the Divas match then?
Yeah, let's move on.
Yes. We had a 6 Divas tag match. Alicia Fox, Rosa Mendes, and Tamina versus AJ, Natalya, and Caitlyn. We've seen tag matches between Caitlyn and AJ and Alicia Fox and Tamina. This doesn't really do anything. We saw last week AJ pinning Tamina. This week we see Tamina pinning NJ. I said NJ. AJ. What's this doing for anyone?
I don't think it's going to be good. But we've seen AJ win a match. Good, because she's new. She needs to win a match. We have Tamina, who should have won more matches before now. But I don't know. I
just want to see Natalya in a match, really. I would rather see Natalya versus Rosa Mendes or versus Tamina or versus Alicia Fox. I really would. Because it just makes for a better Divas match, because I know she's a great wrestler.
It would have been, but...
I don't know.
No.
It just didn't do anything for me, this match. The next match we got was one we were quite concerned with. The Usos versus Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel. And the reason why we were concerned was because Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, after just breaking up from the core, lost to the Usos. And I don't get that.
I think as the core have sadly split up now, I'm thinking maybe just do a bit worse and eventually, even though we need more tag teams in the WWE, hopefully the more bad thing to happen to Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater, the more chance they'll break up.
Yeah, and hopefully then they could turn Justin Gabriel face and make him a mid-carder, which is really where he needs to be right now.
He does.
He's being held back a lot by Heath Slater, in my opinion.
I think that is the case. So hopefully, if they keep losing matches, they'll break up.
The Usos got the win with the Frog Splash.
Nicely finished, though.
It was a decent tag match. It's just I want to see Gabriel and Slater win matches, because the Usos haven't been built up to beat someone like Gabriel and Slater, who have been tag team champions, 3 times? They've just not been built up for it, have they? No. Exactly. There's no reason to it. Just no, they haven't. Spending off their days on superstars nowadays. We then get an Alberto Del Rio segment. Shouldn't you be on Raw, Del Rio? No, but we already know that.
Yeah,
it is my destiny to interrupt Smackdown.
It did get rumoured that he was going to be on Smackdown, so I have no problem with this. And basically says he's not afraid of facing the Big Show in their match at Capital Punishment. And then he's destined to be the next WWE champion. But Alberto to be the next WWE champion sounds like a good thing, because it beats John Cena being it, so... Hopefully he can live up to that.
The segment itself was... We've seen these kind of segments so much from Del Rio. They're getting boring now, aren't they? They really are.
Well, for this one, it did get interesting after he finished talking about being the next WWE champions, because outrun the big 7-foot giant Big Show.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought I'd get in the act there.
And basically, as he dives through the ring to get Del Rio, the bottom rope just breaks down. And his anger goes more from there, because as he goes there, Alberto makes its way through the audience, goes, and then Big Show shows his frustration by ripping the outside the ring area apart. The guardrail, he starts going crazy.
He broke the bottom rope from going in the ring. I mean, come on. But he broke like half the shit on the ring apron. It really just shows you how weak some of the stuff around the ring is, to be honest, doesn't it?
That's true. And the thing is, we've had Del Rio escape. What I would have liked to maybe see is maybe Del Rio, because I don't know, he looked pretty much scared of what Big Show's doing, because he saw how angry he's got the Big Show, so he was like,
sorry for him going into the match.
So it's going to be a pretty bad match for him.
Hopefully he can break Del Rio just like he broke those ring steps or whatever he did. But we all know Del Rio will probably win at the pay-per-view anyway, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Should we move on to the main event, or, the main event?
Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah, so in the main event, we have Christian versus Sheamus. 2 heels in a match. Why? Because Orton is injured and you can't use him, which is the problem when you only have one babyface in your main event scene, because it means you can't bring another babyface up to work a match with another fucking heel, which makes for a shit main event between 2 guys that are heel.
The thing, it weren't really the match that was the case of this part of SmackDown. It was what happened in SmackDown. Christian wins, good for him, so it's going to be a single match between Orton and Christian. Yeah. But then, as Christian makes his way up the ramp, we have Sheamus laying in the exact spot where someone like Jericho's been laying, and then all of a sudden he gets punted.
What I want to know is, why is Orton punting Sheamus? Again, Sheamus is a guy that you could be used on SmackDown. If he's getting punted, he's going to be going off TV for a bit, right? Am I correct? Probably.
He would do for a little while.
Can SmackDown afford to lose someone like Sheamus? They can't. Their roster is that thin. It's wafer thin. The draft has fucked them up. And they can't afford to lose Sheamus. And again, they're booking Orton like a fucking monster once again, even though he's got a concussion.
If I get the positive out of this, I say with Sheamus, who's now in the main event from where he has been, and Mark Henry out the way, they've got to start using other people now.
Yes.
So after Come to Punishment, I'm pretty sure the Orton Christian thing will continue, but someone else has got to step up eventually. And that person, I'm hoping, is Wade Barrett.
Yes, definitely. I do hope Wade Barrett. You know Randy Orton's getting the favourable meetings at the Breakfast Club when he's punting Triple H's favourite wrestler, Sheamus. Don't you?
Yeah, and just saying, now it's happened. All SmackDown can do now is start bringing other ones up after they've lost 2 of their big...
And let's hope they're 2 matches. Yes, 2 out of 7 matches at the pay-per-view can deliver. There we go. NJ, should we go on to our overall thoughts then? Because I think the grading for this is pretty easy. For me, it's a D show, maybe even an E. A D. I'm going to say D.
Overall, the show, I can't pick up much of my favourite time.
No.
My favourite points of SmackDown, there weren't really anything. We don't get to see certain matches being made better. Most of the matches were short, nothing exciting about them. So I'm going to give it a D and finish it there.
In terms of a go-home show, this was not very good at all. I didn't like the main event. The Del Rio segment's there to fill time. They had another from the Vault. Anything there to fill time is there. Their roster's so wafer thin now. It's unbelievable. The draft has fucked it up. The Divas match didn't do anything. The tag team match was, it was a good match, but the result of it really puzzled me. As a go-home show, I do think it failed, especially in that 6-man tag, which is why I'm going to give it a D. Mainly because the booking on this show is just getting awful every week now. It's just nothing. It's not entertaining. And the match, it's just no good. I just don't like SmackDown. I'm starting to really go off it.
And the horrible thing is, it's the last show before the pay-per-view, and you haven't actually got us excited for the pay-per-view.
No.
The Big Show and Del Rio, yes, but the rest of it, not really. So I'm going to give you a thumbs down for this.
So you with me a D on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That has been it from us, the British Fist. NJ, let's do this because it's positive. There we go, ka-ching. Where the money's at, unlike SmackDown, because they're not selling any of their fucking shows and they're getting shit ratings because of writing like this. Bullshit.
And
Leave your comments in the comment section below, of course.
Yeah, I'm just saying that hopefully after the pay-per-view, rivalries will be finished and you can start new ones.
Start new ones. They really need to, and they really need to use their roster a bit better and get some people from fucking Raw onto SmackDown because they really need them at the moment. But anyway, that has been it from me, Daniel Parker, and this guy NJ.
What's up?
You know when he's doing what's up that and enthusiastically.
I'll do it a bit better because, to be honest, we're at the end now, so I'm happy. So, what's up?
Yeah, because SmackDown was fucking awesome, awful,
and we'll
vlog again soon.
Yeah,
you do it. Go on.
And we'll vlog again soon.
Yay! Goodbye.